Okay, guys, I have something super special for you today. This is my easy garlic basil Christmas tree bread. What's better than having a delicious dish for Christmas? Well, I can answer that. It's having something tasty in the shape of one of the most iconic symbols of the holiday, a Christmas tree. And this bread accomplishes both of those tasks plus some. It's a savory garlic bread filled with mozzarella cheese. It is topped with the most decadent combination of butter and herbs. And the good thing about it is that the flavors are complex enough for the adults, but also reminiscent of a fancier version of pizza for the kiddos. This one is a winner. Truthfully, I just did the most tedious part of the entire recipe, which is unwrapping those mozzarella sticks. And then I'm just going to cut them into pieces. And then we're going to get started on our pizza dough. Now, you can feel free to make your pizza dough from scratch. I'm just trying to give you a recipe that is super easy to throw together because the holiday season is already hectic enough. So I took some store-bought pizza dough and I'm just going to roll it out. I used about a couple of tablespoons of all-purpose flour on my little cutting board here so that nothing sticks. And once I've stretched it out into a rectangle and kind of got it pretty even, I'm going to take a sharp knife and I'm going to cut this into 35 squares. Do not worry, there is no pressure to be perfect here. I noticed that some of my squares were larger than some and some were kind of small, but that actually is fine in this recipe because whenever I roll them up and make the balls for the Christmas bread, I'll just put the larger pieces on the bottom because the bottom of a Christmas tree is always bigger than the top. So let's talk about food in the shape of things. It's so fun and so whimsical. And there's definitely something to the theory that we eat with our eyes first. That simply means that if something looks delicious, we're more willing to not only try it, but also to form a positive opinion about it. It sounds strange, right? Well, not really, because the presentation of a dish can be an indication of how much time and effort were put into its completion, as well as give you a hint as to what it might taste like. So we're just going to take a square of pizza dough and a piece of that mozzarella stick we chopped up. I'm going to place it in the middle and fold the pizza dough around it until it's completely covered and then roll it in the palms of my hand to make a ball. I'm going to continue this process until all of the little squares of pizza dough have been filled with cheese. Another thing that I've noticed is whenever I make food into fun shapes that coordinate with holidays, no matter what holiday it might be, for my family and my kids, it just always seems to go over better. And if you're new here, you'll learn very quickly, I have a very picky crew. After we have stuffed all the dough with the cheese, I am just going to arrange it on our parchment paper lined baking sheet. I just turned that parchment paper around a little bit because I had it facing the wrong direction. And then you're just going to make the shape of the tree. Of course, I used the larger pieces of dough for the bottom, and then I used the smaller ones as we got closer to the top. Oh, and one more thing, going back to the presentation of dishes. If you're trying to introduce something new, curiosity is a must. And when you have recipes that look beautiful, kids are curious to at least try it once. Now to another mixing bowl, we just added some Parmesan cheese to our melted butter and then all of our herbs, which is some rosemary, parsley flakes, some garlic powder, onion powder, some basil, and red pepper flakes for spice. I'm just going to take my pastry brush and put all of this delicious flavor right on top of the dough. Don't neglect the sides. I definitely cover the surface of the tree first, and then I go around and make sure that all sides of the pizza dough are completely covered in this delicious flavor. And as it bakes in the oven, it's going to get nice and toasty and brown and very, very ooey gooey and melty on the inside with all of that mozzarella cheese. It only needs to bake for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then it's ready to come out of the oven and onto either a cutting board or a beautiful holiday platter. And during the hectic holiday season, with all of the parties, the dinners, and festivities, I'm always looking for an appetizer that I think everyone will enjoy and I won't have to slave away in the kitchen for a very long time. And this is it. I found it. This is the type of bread that pleases the masses effortlessly. This is the appetizer that checks all of the boxes. It has a beautiful presentation, it's a finger food that doesn't require any utensils, and it's even delicious served at room temperature. As always, for the complete recipe and details, check it out on my blog. The link is in the description below. You have to make it, guys. You have to.